Last week I had 4 kids. This week I have 9 kids. So overnight, becoming a family of now 14, we needed to reset our systems. And an ADHD mom like me cannot handle clutter and mess everywhere. So system number 1 getting a reset, our chore system. And this is how we're doing it as a large family. I'm Heidi, the Heavenly Minded Homemaker, and welcome to our channel. Now, while I love sharing in all the ways our family does all the things in life, from the simple little day-to-day things to the deeper heart root of the issue type of things, I'm really excited to get to share this week because we had some huge changes in our home, like going from 4 kids to 9 kids, and how we are putting those pieces together. And so I've shared some different videos of the background of all of the things, but really coming into this area of being a large family, there were some changes to our systems that we desperately needed. Now, our kids range in age from a couple 20-year-old adult children all the way down to 6 years old. So we have a wide gap here that we really needed to take into consideration to reset our systems and build something that is going to work better for a large family. Now, I've shared for many years the different ways that our family goes about keeping our home tidy and in order and having a system for everything, especially working from home, homeschooling, being in ministry full-time, having a homestead. There's a lot of pieces we're juggling on the daily, and systems make all the difference. And while those have worked and worked well, I've actually put together an entire video series with printables and templates and everything you need with the simplified approach to the Fly Lady system, and I'll link all of that down in the description. But we kind of needed to come up with a new system. I've never been a family of 14 before, and that was what I kind of had to lean off of, and I'm going to share with you how I've kind of adjusted that to work now for us. So what I did is kind of looking at all of this and saying, okay, we have a much larger family all living here on the property now, and we need to figure out how to make all of the things work. Again, especially for us, we homeschool, we work from home, we homestead. Home is very busy. My house is never empty anyways, let alone with our family size doubling last week. And so being able to look at the tasks that need to be done and then divide them equally so that way everybody has a part, even down to the 6-year-old, to participate in whatever it is that we have going on here in the home. So a quick cheat code to the whole simplified approach to the Fly Lady system for us is really looking at things that we need to do every day versus things that we can get away with doing once a week. Now, when I'm doing the Fly Lady system and it's just me or just me and our 4 kids, it takes us a little bit longer to get through all of the spaces. Jumping into large family life, I was actually quite excited to see that when I broke all of this down, which I'm going to explain to you here, we're going to be able to cover so much more ground naturally because of having so many more of us available to do these things. I think it is so important that we all learn the value and importance of tending our home and everybody getting to chip in and get to be a piece. I think it's important that we teach our children how to clean, how to take care of things, how to organize and even minimize and simplify. I think these things really are so helpful and so important to be modeling ourselves and then teaching to our children. And so being able to do this process as a family, as a unit, and everybody have their key piece in it and their kind of area and specialty that they can work through, I think is really, really important. And so kind of getting to go through this from a large family aspect, I got to go around to each and every one of the 9 children and ask them if they had anything that they really loved getting to do or anything that they really didn't like getting to do. And that was something that even our kids thought was interesting because we don't normally get that luxury of having enough people, so quite often you have to do the jobs you don't want to do, sometimes even first, and then there's definitely a lot to be learned in that, but it kind of was nice being able to say, because we have so many ages, again, 20-year-olds down to a 6-year-old, being able to kind of look at it from skill set, but then to also take into consideration people's preferences was something that we definitely appreciated. But we went ahead and split up our chores into daily things and weekly things. And this is going to be so key in creating the system that is able to keep a home tidy and in order Not like it is right now, because today's day one of getting started in this, but being able to keep it tidy and in order, even with 14 people in the home on a normal basis. So first and foremost were the daily tasks. And if you guys are curious to see how our morning, even afternoon or evening routines are going, leave me a comment and let me know. I think sometimes it can be so nice to see how other families' rhythms go, so that way you can get some ideas for your own home as well. But we knew we needed to take care of these routines, and a strong morning and evening routine is so beneficial to help everything else just kind of run smoothly throughout the day. I do not want to spend each and every day cleaning. We have things we want to do. The weather is gorgeous. We want to go hike. We got things we're doing. We're homeschooling. We have other things to do other than just clean all the time. But I also like to have a clean and tidy home. We are a very ADHD prone family. We've really noticed that the visual clutter being handled has such an impact on our mental clutter. And so that's really important, especially when everything we do is really done from home. And so being able to have these simple systems that we can utilize to keep things in order makes a massive impact. And so for me, things like making sure we stay up on dishes, that's one, because dish clutter everywhere drives me a little crazy. But now that we are a family of 14, dishes are really important, okay? It's one thing if we were behind a couple dishes, you're washing something up real quick. You're a large family, you can't necessarily have that so chaotic. Or if it is, you're going to feel that impact so much more. Keeping up on dishes, definitely a core element. The second would be keeping up on laundry. Having the laundry done for 14 people, plus the towels and the washcloths and all the other pieces to go along with it, is definitely going to take a lot more thought than it would with just a family of 6. Well, I guess 7. We had my brother here, so we had 1 extra before, but still a system for a couple people needing to know who's doing what versus so many more is something that's really important. It's another thing that if you don't keep up on it consistently, it gets so out of hand so quickly, and that's definitely not an area that I want to be. And so having a system for laundry, very important. The next for me would be tidy surfaces. I purposely recorded this video before we did any of the things or started anything, because I think it's important to see that yes, we have 14 people in our house. No matter what I have done, I snap my fingers and the surfaces become covered in things, because there's just a lot of people doing a lot of things. And that's okay. A home is made to be lived in. There should be stuff out and about. We should be utilizing the space and not feeling like we need to keep it picture perfect. It's a real house, a real home, a real family, and that's great. But we need to have a system to keep up with that before it goes from being just normal use to absolute chaos. And so tidying surfaces, we need a daily task keeping up on that. And then for me, the last one would be a system to keep our floors picked up. I have my robotic vacuum that I love more than anything else. Every home needs one of these. I absolutely believe it's one of the best investments we could have, and having a system in place that vacuum can be run each day really is going to be hugely impactful, especially, again, we had 7 people in our home last week. We have 14 people in our home this week. The foot traffic, right? Everything that's getting carried in, that's moving, even with taking shoes off and doing things like that, it's just a lot more. And so having a system in place is so important. For us, what we did is I divvied up these tasks. I wrote out everybody in the family, the different tasks that we have here to complete the jobs here for these different areas, and then kind of just scattered them out to everyone. What was really amazing, of all the things that we need to have done, that meant that if we had a morning system and an evening system, each kid only has one task that they need to do, because now there are so many of us. That means that it can be simpler. It means that each kid knows exactly what is required of them. They have that one thing that is their job, that is their priority. It also means for us parents that if there is something that isn't done, or there's an issue with something or whatever it might be, I know exactly what kid to go to, because that was that child's domain. They know it, it's their thing. I can teach them how to do it, I can offer them any assistance that they need, and then it can really become their area, that they know, right? They can take ownership of it and get that done. And so having these daily tasks, again, kind of creating a morning time, this is our routine that we're going to do. Evening time, this is our routine we're going to do. And these are the tasks that we have to make sure that dishes, laundry, surfaces, and the floors stay clean and orderly, so that way our family can function and do all the things that we need to be accomplishing each and every day. Now, it's one thing to keep up on the day-to-day little things like that, but it's another thing to tackle the deep cleaning tasks of a home. And that is one that, again, I love that simplified approach to the Fly Lady system. And even those of us in the membership group, we're going to be spending the next little bit really looking at the systems of our home. Yes, the physical things like cleaning and simplifying, but the deeper things like our Bible study time, our prayer time, and really just that enjoyment of life. So if you guys are curious about any of that, be sure to check out the links in the description. But looking at this for our family now, it was like, okay, a lot of us are using this home. Our home is an older home. It's not super huge or super fancy, and it's the space we have here in the property that all of us are now sharing. And being able to have a system to keep it clean and dealt with, I know for me is one area that I kind of struggle with, because I'm doing so many things here on YouTube, we're doing so many things in our ministry, we have so many projects with the homestead and all the other stuff. Sometimes I have a hard time keeping up on it all, and especially my, half of my kids are a little bit younger, half are a little bit older, right? But then you're trying to balance all the pieces, and it can become a bit overwhelming. And so it was kind of neat, again, to suddenly be in this large family scenario where there are so many able-bodied people ready to pitch in and help support and build up the family. And so what we did is I went through, just like I would with my regular Fly Lady system, and I wrote out the different rooms of the home, different zones of the house. I wrote them all out, and then I went through in each of those spaces. If I were to clean it from top to bottom, what would the tasks be that would need to be done in that area? So from the porch and the patio, the living room, the kitchen, the dining room, the bedrooms, the hallway, the bathroom, you name it, I listed them all out with all of those individual tasks. Well, because there are so many of us, we were able to break it all up and see that even taking specific people's preferences into mind, we could deep clean the entire house in one go through. So we're now able to set a specific day of the week aside that works well into our rhythm of activities and things that we want to be doing, where we can take, honestly, probably only about half an hour. Everybody go to their zone, their space, check off the tasks that they have, and we'll be able to do a nice kind of sweeping overall clean in that space as we go. Now, maybe you don't have 14 people in your house, okay? We have 14 people in our house now, so it means, yes, there's 14 sets of hands to go and help do the thing. It also means it gets dirty 14 times quicker, but maybe you have a smaller group. This is still the system that we did when we were a family of 6. We had our jobs, we had our zones. Now, maybe we would only go through all of those zones in 1 month. Maybe you go through them in 2 weeks, right? It doesn't matter how long it is, the system still works the same. And so having a larger family now, we'll be able to check this off once a week. It's going to be really simple. It used to take us a month to do this system, and we spent about an hour at it each week versus half an hour. It doesn't matter how long it takes. What's important is we take just a little bit of forethought and planning to be able to put this all together, so that way we can roll it out, involve everyone. Even our 6-year-old has jobs that she can do, and we can all participate in keeping our home orderly and just being responsible and thankful for the space that we have and pouring the TLC back into it that we need. It's wonderful to see our older children be able to do these things, because it is such an important task that they need to have before they go and end up, married with their own homes one day. And then for the younger children to be able to learn from that, to learn how to do these skills, is something that I think we all would be wise to. I think as parents, sometimes it's so easy to just do it all yourself, and I'm totally guilty of that. I'll just do it all myself. It's so much easier. But then I'm not teaching my children how to do the things, and that's something we really want to be doing. Now for us, the kids suggested they found this app called Nipto, that it's got a cute little dinosaur man on it, and we could input all of the different tasks that need to be done. And it's almost kind of like a fun challenge where the kids can do different tasks and get points awarded for them, and the parents, we can all kind of see where everybody's at points wise, and we can give different rewards and things that they can pick out. There's one to to get a special breakfast. There's one to get the highest of fives. There's one that we're putting together to get a special treat or a special outing. And so if you wanted to do a chore or reward system, you totally could in there. But it's also a way for a large family to keep track of all the things that need to be done, who's done them, when they were last done, and all of those pieces with it. And so far for us, breaking these down, daily tasks, weekly tasks, giving everybody a daily task, giving everybody a weekly zone that they are responsible for to take care of, and then using something like a simple app to keep it all organized in. That is our plan that we're moving forward with now as a large family trying to keep our home in order. So while we are putting this into practice, of course, we would love to share with you kind of how our rhythms are going and how we're doing as we navigate going from a family of one size to a family of a much larger size so quickly. But I think, again, it's so exciting when we remember that every day is a blessing. None of us are promised a tomorrow. And so I know as a mom, when I am overwhelmed, I'm stressed out, I'm frazzled, I'm struggling, that really does affect my kids. That really weighs in on them as well. And so when I feel like I have a plan, I have a system, it might not be perfect, but we're gonna give this a good try. It helps me to be a little more positive and uplifting as I go through this with the kids and say, all right, this is our plan, this is what we're trying. If we need to adjust it, we can, but it's important that we work together. It's important that we take care of our home, that we keep things tidy and orderly so that way they can be used efficiently and really just joyfully. Because who wants to be in a stressed out, just cluttered, overwhelming home when we can be in something that is cozy, that is inviting, that really is there to support all the tasks and activities that as a family we find so important. So this is our plan. This is what we're going for. And we cannot wait to share with you guys how we hopefully navigate all of this and get it accomplished each and every day. Now, if you have any questions or anything specific that you would like to see, leave us a comment. And heads up, we are back to having weekly chatty coffee dates where my friend Sabrina and I will be sitting down and answering your questions. So if you ever have a question you'd like to see answered, be sure you just leave a little coffee cup emoji next to it so that way we can feature you in one of our weekly chatty coffee dates. Otherwise, be sure to check out the links down in the description. I got a house to go clean with my big, huge, awesome family, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, friends!